All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus show. I'm One Bar with Lupagus and JJ McCarthy. It's hot topic. Could the Vikings take it at 11? Could they actually trade up even higher and take him?
Yeah, before we get in that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, download the Underdog Fantasy app. Promo code SKULL. They'll match your first deposit up to 100 bones. Super Bowl is coming up this weekend. There's no better time to do some higher or lowers on their pick'em. Win yourself some extra cheddar, and you get a mystery special as a new customer.
Yes, I will be doing a ton of underdogs this weekend. But JJ McCarthy,
Maybe,
what?
Maybe no longer an underdog for pick 11.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, this dude's name is just white hot. He went from second round guy, maybe fringe first round guy. They're saying like top 10 teams could be trading up into the top 10 to get him. And, we can't believe everything we hear right now, but the chatter's too hot and heavy not to talk about.
Yeah. Was it Benjamin Albright? Was he the first one who said like the NFL views him differently than all these draft analysts? And really like you should start putting this guy closer to the top 3 than that second tier. So the top 3 a quarterback. So I think this is where it all started from. And it's interesting. He's got the size, he's got the arm. I went back and watched his highlights. And to me, what's the most impressive thing about him is that, his ability to escape pressure in the pocket, then also to throw accurately when he's running. And I think that's something that a lot of quarterbacks just can't do. And he does definitely have that going for him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and just bash JJ McCarthy. I don't think he's bad. There's reasons I don't want the Vikings to take JJ McCarthy. He might end up being the best damn quarterback out of this class, but just the not so much negatives, the concerns outweigh what he's done. And it always comes back to the same thing. His team was absolutely stacked. They leaned on the run, and it was never up to him to go out there and win a game. I mean, you could say the same thing. They say the same things about him. Oh, there's some games he threw the ball 10 times. They just ran the ball and won the game. Like, it was never on him to win. I want a dude that is ready, that has been through the ringer, that has won some games, that is not scared and will whip that thing around.
Yeah, and that's why I have reservations about moving up to get him from 11. If he falls to 11 and this thing grows and I start to fall in love with him, fine. But that's the reason I can't trade up for this guy. I don't know if he is that guy who can take the team on his back, and come back and win a game when he has to. But he has made the throws when he's needed to make them. However, that may only be, 2-3 throws a game.
Yeah, but he's also made very gross throws. His big thing is inconsistent accuracy. He always is throwing very short passes. He does have zip. He's got the athletic ability. I mean, when he checks the boxes, it's just he hasn't done it. And where the Vikings are right now, like, we need a guy. We need to change it up. We need to change it up. We need a playmaker. We need somebody that's just gonna that just is less question marks.
But I mean, you can't sit here and say that he's not going to become that. He cannot develop into that. It's definitely possible he can. He's never really been asked to do it. So it doesn't mean he can't do it. He hasn't done it. So there's still upside here with McCarthy. Again, I'm just worried. It doesn't really matter in the end of this what we think. If the NFL truly sees him and values him higher, I mean, and we'll see where this goes, but he could definitely be a top 10 pick if that's where they value
I've
him.
never been asked to do a backflip, but if I did one or I tried one right now, I would fail miserably and I'd probably break my neck.
That's fine. I mean, it doesn't mean McCarthy's going to fail if he develops into that. He still can. Everybody's got their negatives. Everybody's got their knocks. And I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just saying, he could develop into something.
You could. And every year we see quarterbacks that they have the negatives and then they come into the pros and they just blow them out of the water. So McCarthy's in a tough situation. He was on a great team. He was a fantastic college quarterback, but he's just on a tough spot where he just hasn't been able to prove it. And with the Vikings, like if we got him, I just don't want him starting day one. I want him to be a guy that sits there for a year or two and let him do his thing. I mean, I would see McCarthy as more of a, hey, we re-signed Kirk Cousins for 2 years, or a bridge quarterback, like a Penix or somebody like that, and they just throw him out there. That's one thing. But McCarthy, I think, needs to maybe hang out a while and earn that spot.
Yeah, and I don't know what his ceiling is. I mean, that's where I struggle with him. I don't know what he can be. And I mentioned what he could, potentially do. I just don't know. I don't know what his ceiling is. I don't think it's that high, but maybe he's getting a guy who can just make the throws and run the offense is fine.
Well, the things that you do hear about him that are fantastic, he stays in the pocket. The dude does not throw the ball away. He'll take a big old hit. He will wait till the very last second and try to make a throw. You love that. You love his athletic ability. You love his size, his zip. So he definitely has some positives. I'm believing the hype a little bit where he probably will be a top 15 pick, and maybe when all is said and done, a top 10 pick. Ideally for me, like the Falcons take him. Somebody just get him off the board for the Vikings on the board.
Yeah, I'm not going there yet. I'm still like, I just finally started watching them, and I like what I've seen so far. I have seen the bad throws. I've seen some bad plays. I watched the Michigan games this year, so I know what he can do. I know what his bads are. But again, I'm going to sit back and let this thing unfold and just let the draft process play out, because he's got the combine. He's got his pro day. We'll see how he does in those things.
Oh, his name will only get hotter and hotter and hotter. Jim Harbaugh saying he's going to be the first quarterback taken off the board. Jim Harbaugh, of course, is going to say that. We'll see. I mean, you could see a team like the Broncos get crazy, trade up and do something. But we'll see. He's definitely in play.
He is at 11 or higher. So I think the takeaway from this is just brace ourselves for this. It could happen.
Brace yourselves. JJ McCarthy could be in that purple. He does look badass out there with his visor. I mean, he looks the part. He looks the part. Hopefully he plays the part.
All right, let us know in the comments what you think about JJ McCarthy and the recent smoke about him being a potential top 10 pick. And also remember this, the first breakfast cereal ever manufactured was called Granula, and it was manufactured back in 1863 by a doctor.
That was gross.